hop on. Hi everyone, very excited to see you. I'm going to wait a couple of minutes to make sure that everyone who's meant to be on live is able to come on live. And I know that we've got quite a few of us who are also going to be watching the replay because you guys have all kinds of calls and things going on. Of course, you guys are business owners, so that makes perfect sense. And I cannot wait to get started. So this is super, super exciting. This stuff is my jam. I freaking love it. So I get really excited when I talk about it. So get ready for that. But you guys know me by now. That's something that I'm very big on. So I'm just going to wait another couple of minutes while we have other people come onto the webinar as they click on the link. Just so you guys know, you will have a chance to ask any questions that you have. You'll see that you can ask questions on the right-hand side, and there's a chat box. And for those of you who are watching the replay, you're more than welcome to ask me any questions in my Facebook group, Dare to Dream with Olivia Charlet, and I will be absolutely there 100% to answer any of those questions. So there we go. All right, perfect. So I want to get started because I know that you guys have a lot going on. I do as well. Being a business owner is freaking awesome, but it also means that your time is incredibly valuable. And I get that and I know that. So I'm going to give you the agenda. I'm going to tell you what we're going to be doing today. And then I'm going to really dive straight in so that you get as much value as humanly possible. That's super important for me. And like I said, if you have any questions, just put them into the question box on the right-hand side, and then we'll have time for the Q&A at the very end. So first of all, the agenda. First of all, I'm going to tell you a little bit about me, who I am. If you don't really know me, I'll tell you a little bit about my story and how I came into really doing a lot of mindset work with my clients and why I thought it was absolutely useless when I first started thinking, come on now, this is not that big a deal. So I'll tell you all about that. Then we'll talk about 2 specific things that I want you to experiment with. Don't believe anything that I tell you today. Instead, go take action on it, experiment with it, and see if it works for you. It's worked for tons of my clients. It's worked for people all over the world because these are things that I've been learning from some of the best, and I'll be sharing about who that is and what that's about. But go and experiment with what I'm going to teach you. So there are 2 main things that we're going to go over today in today's webinar. And then at the very end, I'll give you an offer so that for those of you who really want to delve in deeper with the mindset work, I know that it's not just a sort of 1-hour thing or a 1 book thing or a 1 tool thing. It takes time, it takes energy, it takes real sort of it just takes a lot of delving into what's going on inside, because obviously we have these blueprints, we have this mindset, we have these beliefs and these paradigms as a result of, you know, our childhood and how we grew up and all the systems that we've been learning from for so long, right? So I will give you an offer for that if you are somebody who's 100% committed and really wants to do deeper inner work. And finally, we'll go through Q&A. So any questions that you pop into the right-hand side, I will answer those. Awesome. So let's get started. I am super, super excited to have you guys all here. Thank you for taking time out of your day to show up and to really commit to yourself and to commit to the results that you want to have in your business, with your clients, with the amount of money that you're making, with the amount of impact that you want to make. So today is all about the inner work. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I got into inner work and why I realized how important it was. So my name's Olivia. For those of you who do know me, I know that that's probably an obvious. I grew up moving all over the place. I grew up in Tokyo, Dusseldorf, Johannesburg, Vienna, Hamburg. My parents are French Belgian, but I've never lived in either of those countries. I speak multiple languages. I'm just a very eclectic, multicultural person. And my first business that I started about 3 years ago was a dating events business for global nomads, because it was very aligned with who I was and what I was about. And a year ago, I started my coaching business for women entrepreneurs who are incredibly tenacious about making their dreams a reality, but who are struggling to actually make the level of impact, the level of money, and the level of results that they want in their business. They're just not seeing it, and they're frustrated, and they know they're meant for more. They're so passionate about what they do, and they're not just getting the chance to actually do the work that they know they were meant to do. And that's the women that I work with. So when I first started my coaching business, to be very honest with you, because in my life looking back, I had done pretty well. You know, I had good grades in high school when I was living in Hamburg in Germany. I went to Boston and Boston University, did a bachelor's in business. I did quite well there as well. Got a 3.4 GPA, which is not like amazing, but it was really good, and I was happy with that. And then I went to work for Bloomberg. I got accepted there. I went through 2 rounds of interviews and they took me on, and it was an amazing company, very well regarded and incredible learning curve. And then I met my boyfriend and we've been together for 2.5 years, and things were just really working very well for me. So I've been super lucky whereby I've been super determined and I've taken up a lot of action, massive action, and that always created my results. So you might ask me like, well, why are you even talking about inner work then, right? If it worked so well for you up until now, like why did you feel the need for inner work? Well, within my business, that's the one piece whereby I felt like I'm not getting the results that I want. And I didn't understand what was going on, right? Because I had a couple of clients, I think it was month 3 or month 4 where I had a couple of clients. I was making a little bit of money doing my coaching business. At the time, I was mostly coaching all women. It wasn't only entrepreneurs. But I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, I know how much more of an impact I want to make, and I was so committed to my success, and I was like, it's going to happen. It's just more a matter of time. And I didn't know when that would happen, and I didn't know when it would take off. And I was sick and tired of waiting, to be honest with you, because I'm not a very good waiter. Like, I'm not a very good person who just is patient and sits back and just allows things to happen. And I just remember feeling like frustrated about the level of money I was making. I wasn't getting like the clients that I really wanted to have on board. I wasn't creating the level of engagement that I wanted to create. I felt like there's just something missing. And I look back and I was like, but why? I'm taking massive action. I'm showing up like crazy. I'm giving away all these fantastic coaching calls. I'm getting these testimonials. I was just thinking like, what is going on that nothing is working? And maybe you're feeling like that, whether you have your first paying clients or not, whether you're a bit about like midway, but you're not getting the impact that you want. Maybe you're not getting the results that you want. And you're just like, what is going on, right? I think there's a certain time where you're like, look, I really have tried and tested all of the strategies, all of the different implementation systems. Look, I knew all the systems and structures by then, right? Like sales funnels, I knew the marketing steps, like I knew how to set up like a good Facebook group. I knew how to set up an opt-in. I knew how to just do a really great coaching call because like I had gotten so much practice doing that, right? Doing free coaching calls. I was like, yeah, I know how to do that. And I was like, what is it that's not really giving me the lift off and the level of success that I genuinely want? And that's when I kept seeing and kept hearing from some of the best people out there. People like Jack Canfield, Lisa Nichols, Tony Robbins, people like Rich Litvin, who's now my coach. People like, Regan Hillier, if you guys saw her on my interview a couple of weeks ago. Regan Hillier makes about 70 grand a month, right? She does that in profit, and she's a coach. So I was like, what is going on that all of these people are what it seems like are doing the same thing that I'm doing, in the sense that they're working in the same sort of business, they're in the personal development industry, but I'm not creating the results that I genuinely know I can get. And the level of action, right? Because I was taking massive action. I had no issue with visibility by then, right? That's sometimes an issue, and that can be blocks and limits that I work with my clients through. But that wasn't even it. I was showing up all over the place. So I was like, what am I doing wrong? Like, what is it that's not actually working? And I realized that all of these incredibly successful people, the biggest difference between me and them is that they were really working on their mindset. They had really, really precise morning rituals. They had very good ways in terms of changing the way that they think. They did a lot more wealth consciousness work than I did. They worked on all of the beliefs that they had. They were changing their financial blueprint, right? We all have a financial blueprint, which is set up when we were growing up. If you haven't read the book, The Secrets of a Millionaire Mind, I would highly recommend that book. And I realized like they're doing all this inner deep mindset work, and I'm not doing any of that hardly. Like I said I was, because I was like, oh, I'm doing a bit of meditation in the morning. I really wasn't. Not to the extent that I should be, let's just say that. And so I thought to myself, okay, well, cool. Like I'm willing to give that a shot, because I'm always willing to experiment. And I'm not one of those people who will sit back. I will actually take action and give it a shot. So of course, there are so many freaking pieces to mindset work, right? And today we're only going through 2 of them, and it's really only the basic foundations, but it's so incredibly important, right? And there's so much more to this, right? There are other foundational pieces that we'll go over in the next couple of weeks, because I'm doing a lot of these webinars. But what I found was that as a result of mindset work, I am flying out to Bali in less than 4 weeks with somebody called Rocky. She has 3 bestsellers and she is my book coach. She's helping me write my very first bestseller. That's right, mindset. So I'm going to Bali for a whole week. I'm going in March 13th to March 19th. I've got my tickets. I'm ready to go. Got my bikini ready. I'm ready. I'm so excited. I'm going out there to write my book. Second of all, I was chosen to work with Rich Litvin. So I was interviewed by him, and now I'm going to be coached by him for 6 months. It's starting early March, and then it goes all the way through until August. I'm going to be coached by him with 9 other top coaches. If you don't know who Rich Litvin is, he's a very well-known coach. He wrote the book, The Prosperous Coach, with somebody called Steve Chandler, they're both based in the US. I also am flying out to Grenoble, Hamburg, Rome, Sardinia, Nice. This is so crazy when I even tell myself this. Where else am I going? Probably missing a couple. I've written that in an email. You guys have all the places that I'm going to. So this is absurd, right? But all of this would never have happened if it wasn't for the mindset work. Because I had so many limiting beliefs. I had so many blocks. I had so many ways of thinking that were not valuable to me, that were not useful to me. And it's funny because looking back, to be honest with you, I didn't think I really had that many blocks. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm taking action, I'm being visible, I'm showing up. I don't think I have that many blocks in taking action, right? Well, it turns out I was so ridiculously wrong, right? Which is funny because it's like, I think it's what we know that is actually our biggest block, because we think we know everything sometimes. Well, I do. I'm like, oh yeah, I've got it. I know this, and I just go 100 miles an hour. But sometimes it's about doing the inner work, because like I said, all of the things, all of the pieces that I've created in the last couple of months have been really a result of the inner work, the mindset work, the tools, the exercise, the books I've been reading, the coaching I've been doing, the intensives I've been to. All of that inner work has really shifted the way that I think, the way that I come across, the way that I reach out to people, who I reach out to, and there's just been so much of a shift. And I'm just like, I need to share this with you guys. So that's my story, first of all, with regards to just how I came across mindset work and why I realized how ridiculously valuable it was for me and for other people. The last thing I'll say is, if you still don't think that mindset work is that important, I want to ask you, where do you think your actions come from? So when you take an action, where does that action come from? It comes from your head, right? Like, it comes from the thought that you have had before you take action. Like, let's say you decide to go post on Facebook, or set up a webinar, or launch some form of opt-in, or do a video, or do some work with somebody, whatever it is that you decide to do. Before you take that action, you had to have had a thought before you took that action. So everything starts up here. So if this in any way, shape, or form, what if it could be shifty even by 4 degrees, by 4%? And what if you could be bolder by 4%, by 4 degrees? What if all of your actions that you were taking could be shifted by that level? Can you imagine the level of results that you could get? That could be exponential. So if you don't believe it, I would just question and challenge, well, what if I was thinking differently? Would I take different actions? Would I reach out to different kinds of people? Would I have different ideas? Would I have different ideas to book sales? Would I have different ideas to create money? Would I have different ideas to set up a program? Would I have different ideas with regards to who to reach out to for collaboration? Yes, because the way that you think is obviously what you're then going to take action on, okay? So let's get started on the 2 principles for today. They're not really principles, they're 2 pieces that I really want to talk to you guys today. And again, like I said, there's so much to mindset, right? That's why I'm doing multiple webinars over the next couple of weeks, right? But the more you can learn about it and the more you can actually apply these pieces, the better it'll be for you. By the way, again, if you have any questions, I would love for you guys to start asking them in the chat box on the right-hand side. Anything goes, you can just ask me. And that way, by the end, we can absolutely answer any of those questions on the Q&A. All right, cool. So first of all, oh God, this is like a really, really big one. How are you currently starting out your day? Be really honest with yourself. And I really want you to just ask yourself, how do you start your day? Do you wake up and do you go straight onto Facebook? Do you wake up and you don't even really necessarily have breakfast, or you have breakfast and then you go straight onto responding to emails, or maybe you go straight onto Facebook or Twitter or Instagram? You know, do you not exercise? What do you do? Like, are you really, really set in terms of what it is that you do, or are you just sort of doing anything? Okay, so if you look at some of the major people out there, people like Tony Robbins, Jack Canfield, Lisa Nichols, Oprah, freaking like Tim Ferriss, any one of those people, those are some of my absolute favorite idols, so I'm using them, but you can look at any of the top really successful performing people. Don't even look at just me. Like, look at people who are out there, because, you know, don't even trust me. And like I've said this before, don't believe what I have to say. Take action on this and test it out for yourself. I know this will create crazy results, but I want you to go out there and actually take action and test it out yourself, because I just don't believe that. I think it's one of those things where when people are like, you have to believe me. No, you don't have to believe me. I'd rather you go out and take action on this and see if it works for you, right? That's so much of a better option than just believing. So people like Tony Robbins, Jack Canfield, they all prime themselves in the morning. They all set themselves in a state in the morning. They all have morning rituals. Why? And it's funny because even though we know that to a certain extent, maybe, you know, I'm guessing some of you guys have read the books or seen the videos, or, you know, listened to the podcast. It's like, we know that, and yet sometimes we skip a day, or for a week we don't do mindset work, or we don't even think that mindset work is that important. And yet some of the most successful people in different industries have some form of morning ritual. Now, the morning ritual that I'm going to go through right now with regards to mindset and inner work is something that not only it's a form of what Jack Canfield uses, Tony Robbins uses, and Regan Hillier uses. If you don't know Regan Hillier, I interviewed her a couple of weeks ago. I would definitely check out that interview. It's absolutely amazing. So this is the thing, right? Is that, yes, you can absolutely tweak this in any way, shape, or form, but it's so beneficial for you to already get started by just doing this. So first of all, what does it look like? So I'm going to make sure to go through each piece that I go through, and you're welcome to tweak this, but remember that all of the top performers, you can go check it out. Go check out Tony Robbins' morning ritual. Go check out Jack Canfield's morning ritual. Go check out and really see that they are doing this sort of thing as well to prime their day. So first of all, what I do is I wake up in the morning, and again, you can do this straight away. I tend to sometimes do it after, when I've had breakfast with my boyfriend, but I switch those up. I just know that I do it every single day, Monday through Friday. So the first thing is to write out gratitude. Okay, you've heard it a million times, but why do we still skip this? Why do we sometimes not do this? Being grateful means that you are so ridiculously appreciative of what you have now. If you're not appreciative of what you have now, then there's no reason that you should have more of what it is that you have, right? So whether that's a client, or you have 5 clients, or you have 10 grand a month, or you have 1 grand a month, or you have 40 grand, whatever it is, right? Well, if you want more, you have to appreciate what it is that you have now. And that can be anything. If your money's not coming in right now, there's so many other things to be grateful for. There is, you know, everything surrounding your environment, the place that you live in, the fact that you are running this beautiful business, the fact that you have maybe a partner or amazing friends, or the support, or you had a beautiful cup of coffee in the morning, or somebody emailed you to tell you that they loved your post. There's so many things to be grateful for. So the first thing is to really think about, what is it that I'm grateful for? And if you don't do that, why would, you know, the higher power, universe, or even just if you think about it in a very logical way, what we put energy on, what we put attention on, is where energy flows, right? So the more you focus on what it is that you appreciate, all the amazing things in your life, the more things that are amazing will come to you, and you will make that happen as well. So number 1 is gratitude. The second piece of this morning ritual that I go through every single time, and again, all of the people like Tony Robbins, Regan Hillier, Jack Canfield are doing this as well. They call it sometimes the power hour. The next thing I do is ask, what is it that I desire? What do I want more than anything else in the world right now? And I go through everything from my business. I literally, I'm gonna tell you exactly what I do. I like separate my days. So I'm like, what do I wanna be doing on Mondays and Fridays? Okay, I don't wanna be coaching on those days. I want those days to be strategy days and interview days. What do I wanna be doing Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday? I wanna be coaching. But then I don't wanna do more than 2 to 3 coaching calls a day because I have very high energy and I wanna be 100% for each one of my clients. Okay, cool. What do I wanna do on the weekends? I don't wanna work at all on the weekends. Okay, great. Who do I want to have on my team? Okay, I've got a VA right now and I've got a web developer. Who else do I want? I want somebody for PR so that I get into in terms of media, in terms of TV interviews, magazines, that kind of thing. What else do I want? Okay, well, I also really want to have someone there as a really great person to brainstorm with, like a coach or somebody who structures me or helps me just figure out clarity in terms of my programs and what it is that I want to launch out in the world, right? Then I want somebody with regards to my book tour because I'm going to have this book tour, right? And so I literally go through each thing. And why am I telling you this? Because I want to give you examples of exactly what it is that I do so that you can go off and do whatever it is that you want to do. So it's really looking at what do you desire? What else do you want? Like I always say that I want to be taking weekends away once every 6 weeks. And I want to take a holiday once every 2 months. It doesn't have to be a long one, can be 5 days. And again, I'm already creating that in the first half of 2016. You construct your life, you create your life, and you create your business. Even if you don't think it's possible now, don't set any limits for you. This is dreaming time, right? Dreaming time. You're not allowed to limit yourself to what is possible or what you think is available to you or what resources you have now or how much money you have now. If you can't imagine it, there's no way it's gonna happen into your life. So you have to at least be able to write it down and close your eye and think about it, right? Everything that I've ever sort of written about or journaled about or written about like this has come into life, has happened. And I was like, this is insane. Sometimes I look back at my journal and I'm like, this has happened. Like, this is absurd. So again, like, please, like, I know it's so easy to be like, but I don't have that. It's not possible right now. I'm not making the money, Olivia. I get it. I was there. I promise I was there. Like, I didn't have any money coming in. I didn't have any clients when I first started my coaching business. And I was exactly where you're at. So I get it. I genuinely do. And maybe you're a bit further down the line. Maybe you are doing incredibly well but you just want to hit that next level. And I get that as well, right? Because we always hit plateaus. So regardless of what it is, you write down all of your desires. The next part, I'm going through the list, the next part is why do you want it? What we do very often is we think about what we want, but then we forget to think about why is this so ridiculously important to me? Why do I want this so freaking bad? And write down all of the reasons why this is so important. This is so important because I want to be relaxed. I want to be able to get a massage once a week. I want to be able to go on a spa day once a month. I want to be able to do this for my kids. Why else do you want it? I want to be able to inspire thousands or millions of people. Why do you want this as well? I want this because I want to be able to relax on the weekends. I don't want to be working every weekend or stressed out about money. Why else do you want this? You just write down all of the reasons why, because that gets you into that drive, that state. Do you see people like Tony Robbins or Jack Canfield? They're in a state. They're like, I'm ready to go. They have an energy and a level of confidence. And the reason they have that is because they're so crystal clear on what they want, why they want it, and they've got their mindset work going on at the same time, right? So why? Why is it that you want that? And then the next piece I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes. And this is all for how you set out your day, right, guys? And again, don't believe me, don't trust me. Instead, take action on it for a set number of days, a set number of weeks, and then decide whether or not it works for you, right? Because all I can base it off of is my experience and my client's experience, right? But I've also seen that all kinds of other people in the personal development industry have done this and have been incredibly successful, right? In different ways, they've all tweaked it. It's not exactly the same way, but why not give something new a shot, right? If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got, which used to really kill me because I was like, I still don't have it when I first started my business. So the next part is I want you to visualize. They've done so many research studies. If you haven't read the book, The Success Principles by Jack Canfield, I'd highly recommend it. And he gives all kinds of research and scientific studies that they've done on visualization for professional athletes, for people who are in the Olympics, whereby they actually visualize, they close their eyes, they visualize themselves winning. They visualize putting the ball in the hoop, you know, when they're shooting in basketball. They visualize winning and being on the podium. They visualize this thing, and they've actually done research to show that it actually scientifically is proven that it improves performance. So visualizing, closing. So if you don't believe in the woo-woo stuff, like I didn't used to believe in that either, then even on a scientific point of view, right? By closing your eyes, by visualizing, feeling, hearing, what would your brother tell you? What would your best friend tell you once you have that dream? What would your partner tell you? What would your parents tell you when you finally have what it is that you have? What would they say to you? Would they be crazy excited? Would they be jumping up and down? Would they want to celebrate with you? Where would they want to go to celebrate with you? Would you want to celebrate? What would you do to celebrate? And imagine everything. Feel all of the feelings. The more you feel, the more it will work. Because that's where all the emotion comes in. That's where your drive comes in. That's where your motivation comes from, right? So once you've focused in on the visualization, you really closed your eyes and you felt all of the experiences that you would feel. One, in a woo-woo way, if you're woo-woo and if you believe in that, it's also about the higher power knowing what it is that you want to experience more of. And also it's like, oh, this is exactly what she wants. These are the feelings she wants to have. And they do everything in their power to make it happen. If you're not so much of a woo-woo way, your brain has a reticular activating system. And again, Jack Canfield talks about this in his Success Principles book, whereby because you visualize it, because you've seen it before, because you've actually seen it in your mind, your brain is actually looking for pieces of information or ways or things in your reality, in your physical world, that will allow you to create what it is that you want to make happen. So the more you focus on it, the more your reticular activating system is actually looking out for things outside. So for example, it might notice an advertisement for an event. And you're like, oh my God, I should go to that event because I want to be a speaker. And that would be a great way to meet other speakers. Or you might see somebody, they're like, oh my God, that's exactly the person I need to talk to. And you go have a cup of coffee with them. And they would never have been in your perception if it hadn't been for the fact that you were so focused and you hadn't done all of the visualization every single day on what your dreams and your desires are. All right, so then the next piece. So we've done gratitude. We've done what it is that you want. We've talked about why you want it. We've gone into visualization, why it's so important. Now comes to again, a little bit of the inner work, but also the strategy mixed in with it. Is thinking about, okay, cool. So now I've got all those pieces. And now it's to think about, what do I want to have concretely in 12 months' time? So I want you to set a financial goal, a personal goal, even a business goal. How many clients, how many programs are going to be sold, how many online courses sold, how much money are you making per month? Be super specific. The more specific you are, the more specific your results are. The more vague you are, the more vague your results will be. It's very logical. Like I used to really struggle with that. I was like, no, I just kind of want to be vague. Well, no, unfortunately that never really worked for me. I mean, you can give it a shot. I always say, give it a shot on your side, see if it works for you. That's the best way to go, right? So breaking down your goals. So what's your 12-month financial goal? What's your 12-month business goal? How many clients, how many books have you sold? How many online courses? How much money are you making? Anything else? Who's on your team? How many people are on your team, etc. What is your goal in 9 months' time? What is your goal in 6 months' time? What is your goal in 3 months' time? What is your goal in 1 month's time? What is your goal in 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 1 week, and what is your goal in 1 day? Why am I telling you this? Because yes, it's fantastic to do the kind of visualization, the inner work, in the sense that you're really creating your desires, you're doing the gratitude work, you are figuring out why it's so important to you. But then what you want to do is you want to come back down to earth and you want to be like, okay, cool. So what's my strategy now? How am I going to reverse engineer and break down what it is that I need to accomplish? So let's say, for example, I want to take out a piece of paper to just show you an example. So if here on the very top, you've got your 12-month goal, okay, cool, 9-month goal, 6-month goal, 3-month goal, 1-month goal, and you go into the weeks. Okay, well, what is it that you need to do in between, so in the month, in the 12 months, so that you create that amount of money and that amount of clients and that level of impact to serve and change people's lives? What do you need to, so in 6 months, you said that you're making about 80K a month. Okay, cool. So what is it that you need to do to make 80K? How many I don't know, how many calls do you need to have? How many webinars do you need to be on? How many interviews do you need to be on? How many events do you need to be speaking at? Do you need to launch a book? Do you need to bring out an online course? Do you need some more passive income? What is it that you need to do, right? Do you need to collaborate with somebody? On the 3-month goal, what is it that you need to do over that 3-month period to get what it is? And you literally just break it down up until today, so this week. And you break it down and you say, okay, cool, so for this week, what is my number one focus? What's my number one priority? Is it to book these 3 interviews? Is it to book 4 sales calls? Is it to launch my online course? Is it to write my book? Whatever it is for you, right? We all have different businesses. It doesn't matter what it is that you have, but you have to be super specific, have a number one priority for the week, and then break it down again, right? What do you want to be doing each day? And again, you can, if for example, tomorrow you do the same morning ritual, and I would love for you to give this a shot Monday through Friday, or even on the weekend, that'd be amazing. And do this for as many weeks as possible. And if, for example, from day 1 to day 2, your priority changes, that's cool. That's your intuitive sense telling you, you know what, I'd actually prefer to go this way. That's absolutely fine. But remember, it's really good to get clear on what it is that you need to take action on based off of that inner work, right? Based off of all the work that we're doing up here. And we want to then get it concrete so that you know what actions you need to be taking. Cool. So I'm going to really quickly recap in terms of that. So 1, gratitude. 2, what is it that you want? 3, why do you want that? Why is it so important to you? List all of the reasons. 4, visualization. How would it feel? What would you be hearing? What would you be experiencing? Would you be jumping up and down? Would you be like screaming all over the place? What would you be doing, right? Then the next step is breaking it down, right? So what are your breakdown goals? 12 months, 9 months, 6 months, 3 months, 2 months, 1 month, and then what do you need to do in those specific months and on those weeks? And then what's your priority for this week, and what's your priority for today, and what are the steps that you need to take? So the last thing I'll say is that with regards to inner work, there might be a couple of limits that come up. And what I mean is that you might start thinking, but it's not possible for me to make 30K this month. Or it's not possible, I want to have this goal, but I feel like it's not possible. Look, okay, that's completely normal. Every single person that you see who's human has limits. Like I've never met someone who doesn't have limits, right? And even somebody like Tony Robbins has limits. But the difference is how they deal with those limits, how they come across those plateaus or those challenges. And it's really like asking yourself, so if you tell yourself, for example, it's not possible for me to get 4 clients this month. Let's just say that that's your limit. Why is it not possible? It's not possible because I don't have enough time. 4 weeks is not enough time to make 4 clients happen. Okay, cool. So first of all, what evidence do you have that that's not enough time to create 4 clients? Look back at your past. Have you ever created 2 clients or 1 client? How long did it take you? 2, what people do you know in your environment, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Periscope, wherever it is that you spend time on social media? What people do you know have created 4 clients in a month? Okay, so they've done it. Why can't you? How are you different to that other person? And write down, because that's your fears, right? Those are your limiting beliefs that are coming up. Write down, okay, I don't think that I can be like this girl because A, B, and C. Because I am not as experienced as she is. Okay, cool. So again, what could you do to build on that experience? What could you do to practice more? What could you do to really put yourself out there and build up that experience? And then the second question would be, okay, cool. So who do you know out there who has less experience and is still creating 4 clients? Because that's still a block that you have. So I want you to continually challenge the limits that come up. And I would even say that ask yourself a question like, if a limit comes up, ask yourself, well, so you say it's not possible for you to create 4 clients this month, right? By the end of February. Let's just say that that's your limit. All right, well, what evidence do you have that shows that it is 100% possible for you to create 4 clients within a month? And you write down all of the evidence that shows that you can create 4 clients in this month. That's really starting to really unblock those things. And of course, if I had more time, I would absolutely go more in depth with this and give you more questions. And it's maybe something I will do on a specific webinar, but this is what I do also in my coaching, right? Is I delve deeper, understand what is it? And then when we're there, it's giving actions to take so that that block starts completely going away. Yes, more blocks might appear, the more you grow, right? The better you get, the more results you get. But then we hit another block and we work on that block, right? So that's always the inner work that you're doing. And that's why coaching is so ridiculously valuable with regards to that as well. All right. So the next part is not as long. I know that took a little bit of time with regards to going through your morning routine, but I know that for me, it's super valuable when people actually explain why things are important and how it's helpful, right? So I know that for you, it's probably the same thing as well. And again, if you have more questions about this, please feel free to ask any of the questions in the chat box on the right-hand side. If you're watching the replay, feel free to reach out to me in my Facebook group, Dare to Dream with Olivia Charlet, and I'd be more than happy to answer any questions there. All right, cool. So the next part is, oh, let me grab a glass of water. I never do that. I'm like, woo, 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 so excited about talking to you guys. It's ridiculous. All right, so before I go on to the next part is I would say that every single day, it is not necessarily always part of the morning part, although very often it is wealth consciousness work. So I don't want to dive in deep in that because that's something that I'm going to be talking about in the next couple of webinars, but I would highly recommend either reading books like Get Rich, Lucky Bitch by Denise Duffield Thomas, or I think it's Tapping into Wealth by Margaret Lynch, and there's so many other books, but like either reading those books in the morning. Think and Grow Rich is another one. The Science of Getting Rich is an epic book as well. And it's either reading those books in the morning or listening to the audios or doing the exercises and the tools. Margaret Lynch has an awesome thing on her website. I would highly recommend checking it out. Videos, Q&A, whereby you can really work through all of your blocks, your money blocks, and she uses tapping. So if you don't know about that, I would absolutely recommend checking that out. But we will be talking about this in the next couple of webinars, so I will keep that part. But wealth consciousness is another part of setting up my day that I do every single day. And if you speak to a lot of the people who are out there incredibly successful, they do a lot of wealth consciousness work as well, right? All right, cool. So the next part is a lot quicker. It's probably going to take us another 5 minutes, and then we will make sure to give you an offer that you're going to be super excited about if you want to delve deeper into the terms of this inner work, and then we'll absolutely have room for Q&A if you have any questions. Cool. So, okay. So we did the inner work with regards to how to set up your day. And the second part is how to do the inner work so that you are playing big, bigger than you have ever played before in your business. Now, first of all, let me tell you this. It's gonna be levels, right? So first you're gonna be like, oh, I think I'm playing pretty big now. And then you're like, oh my God, I'm playing even bigger now, or even bigger, right? And there's so many ways to do this. There's so many tools, there's so many exercises, there's so many NLP tools, there's so much inner work that I could share with you with regards to playing big. But I've decided to focus on the number one piece that's really shaped the way that I've created results, but also whereby my clients have created the massive results, right? One of my clients booked 4 paying clients in the span of 2.5 months of working together, and she had never had a single paying client. Another client of mine, after about 2 months of working together, about 3 sessions, she had 2 paying clients, and she'd never had paying clients before. Right? One of my clients who never had clients before, after 1 month of working with me, 2 sessions, she had her first paying client. And this, by the way, is quicker than you. Usually it's like, I remember taking months to freaking create my first paying clients. And these people are doing it like that and in multiples, right? And by the way, I'm now taking on clients who are entrepreneurs who are a little bit further down the line. So not only am I still working with new entrepreneurs, but I'm also working with people who are a little bit further down the line, but they're not creating the level of impact or the level of results that they truly desire. But they're 100% tenacious about making their dreams reality, right? Okay, I just wanted to put that in there. So the one thing I've seen in terms of my clients, but also myself in terms of creating massive results, and you would know who I'm talking about because all my clients are just like showing up like mad crazy right now. They're taking massive action, is this very simple principle: getting into discomfort, feeling uncomfortable. Now, when I say this, people often think, oh, does that mean I can't be happy or I have to be unhappy? Or sometimes people say, does that mean, Olivia, that I have to be unaligned with who I am? Or people tell me, well, I want to do these things intuitively. And if I'm doing it intuitively, it feels comfortable, right? Look, I completely agree with you. I'm the biggest believer in doing things that feel incredibly aligned with who you are, what you believe in, what your mission is. 2, I completely believe in having a freaking blast, having so much fun doing your business. I have a blast. I'm this energetic all the freaking time, right? I get it. I believe in that as well. And I also believe that if you feel really intuitive, great. That's not what I'm talking about. And I also think that you can be 100% ridiculously happy. You can actually be way more exhilarated and on a high from life in your business if you're doing this. Getting out of comfort. Getting out of your comfort zone. Now, before you walk away and you're like, well, that's easy. I already know that. Are you living that? Are you creating the results that you want in your business and in your life? Are you making the amount of money that you want? Are you making the amount of clients that you want? Are you making the level of impact that you know deep down in your heart whereby you could change and transform people's lives? You can help them with your business, with your services. Do you feel like you're making that level of impact? If you do, great. If you don't and you feel comfy and you're kind of happy, but you're also kind of stressed because you're not getting what you want, but you're also like, I'm pretty comfy, I want you to get out of your comfort zone. The things that are scary, I want you to jump. The things that are uncomfortable, I want you to jump. The things where you feel inconvenience, I want you to jump. By the way, this takes so much inner work, but in the sense that it'll come so naturally and you'll know what to do outside of your comfort zone when you do the inner work. And this comes with coaching. This comes with doing the tools, doing the exercises, doing the morning, the way that we've talked about, right? But it's like, for example, let's say that you've worked with somebody for a set of 3 months, right? And now you're ready to ask them for a testimonial. And you get that little discomfort about asking them for a testimonial, but then you still do. And then you get another little discomfort when you're thinking like, oh, it'd be really cool if I could get a video from them sharing their testimonial, but you get too scared, so you don't do it. Or you tell yourself, it'd be really cool if I actually interviewed that client that I worked with. But I'm really scared to do that. I want to make them feel uncomfortable. Maybe that's weird. What if they don't get results? Do it. That's where you do it. Anytime where you know that this is aligned with your purpose, with your true calling, but it's a little bit uncomfortable, you do it. When you see people who you're super aligned with and you know that what they're doing is exactly what you wanted to be doing and their values are aligned with yours and you trust them and you respect them and you see something that's freaking awesome that they're doing, whether it's speaking at events, writing a book, setting up webinars, launching videos, doing whatever it is that they're doing, it's time that you do it. You want to ask that whatever it is, that millionaire, that billionaire, you want to interview them, ask them to be interviewed. You want to go on go to that event even though it costs a lot of money, but you're like, I know this would change my life. I know that this would create the craziest return. Do it. You want to invest in that one-to-one program or with that coach or with that mentor or with that person who's great at marketing, but you're so scared and you're afraid and it makes you feel uncomfortable. Do it. Look, you're allowed to have all of your beliefs, all of your opinions. Of course you are, right? But it's also like at a certain time, it's like, well, don't you want more? Don't you want to create what it is that you genuinely just really, really want? And yeah, it's scary. I've done so many scary things in the last couple of months of running my business. But I'm also ready for, crazy things to be happening in it. And I know that where I'm uncomfortable and where I'm scared and where I'm nervous is where I grow the most. And like Harv Eker talks about in his book, The Secrets of a Millionaire Mind, he says that as if the container is big, there will be more space for abundance, wealth, money, impact, results to come in. So the more you grow, the more you allow abundance, impact, wealth to come into your life. Look, I'm the most heart-centered entrepreneur you will ever know. For me, making a difference is more important than anything else. I almost get kind of emotional, talking about it. Like when one of my clients finished working with me yesterday, and she's had like such amazing results, and she's been an absolute, freaking adore her. And it was so sad to me to see her go. And she said that she desperately wants to work with me again, and she's absolutely making the money to find it and create the money and so on. And I know that I know how much I believe in her so freaking much, and the results she's already created is amazing, and I cannot wait to see what happens next for her. So I get it if you have the deep desire to change people's lives, to transform people's lives, but it starts with getting uncomfortable, getting scared, leaping, having those leaps of faith, believing that it will happen for you. All right, so that's all I want to leave it for in terms of discomfort, is jumping into the discomfort, jumping into the inconvenience, jumping into what isn't normal for you. Well, guess what? If you're feeling really comfy and you're not getting the results that you want, that's a really big clue. And again, like I said, don't believe me, don't trust me. Go out there and give it a shot. Try it out for yourself, experiment yourself, and then see if it works for you, right? That's all I want you to do. That's all I care about. I'm giving you everything that I know, because I know this has made a massive difference in my life. My level of energy, my level of motivation, my level of results, my level of impact is because I'm taking massive risks all the time, right? And yes, it's scary. I'm the first person to say that, right? And by the way, I still have tons to learn. I'm still a #1 student. I'm the first person to say that, which is why I always hire coaches. I always go to events. I always go to workshops. I always learn from people who are the best, because I'm like, I still have so much to learn and so much to do, right? And I think that that's kind of the best way for me to live, because then I know that I can consistently impact more people if I'm continually growing. All right, cool. So first piece was on how to set up your day for serious success. And the second part was all about how to really step into your discomfort. And I gave you a couple of examples of this, and we will absolutely dive into this deeper in the next couple of webinars, and I'll always give you examples of how you can do this. I absolutely work with my one-to-one clients on getting uncomfortable in a great way, where it feels really amazing and exhilarating and exciting and awesome and so aligned with their purpose and their ambition, but they know that they're also creating some freaking amazing results, right? All right, cool. So that's the jazz for the two things that we wanted to talk about today in terms of inner work. There's so much more to come. Next week, before we go into Q&A and giving you the offer, next week on, I think it's Wednesday, I'll be sending you guys an email with regards to next week's webinar, but we're gonna be talking a little bit about this. I have an example. And you're like, what the frick is this? This is a money jar. It is called a financial freedom account. And I've also got a bank account that is called the exact same thing. So financial freedom account. And we'll also be talking about this. I've got also a Play account in my bank account, and this is called Play. So you'll be hearing about that, and you'll be hearing, why do I have money jars, right? What are we, like in the freaking 1950s? I've got money jars, and I'm so excited to talk to you guys about that next week. I'll be talking about a couple of other things, but I will give you all the information in your email, in my Facebook group, Dare to Dream with Olivia Charlet. Before we jump into any Q&A that you guys have, you're more than welcome to plop them into the right-hand side of the screen. And for those of you who are watching the replay, please feel free to ask me in my Facebook group. Honestly, that's not a problem at all. So what I want to offer you guys is my current one-to-one program that I am so freaking excited about. This is the thing. I've been so excited about the level of results that my clients have been having. And I've had a lot of them ask me to work with them again, which really shows that they're excited and happy about what it is that they're getting and creating in their lives and their businesses. As you guys know, I am specifically a mindset coach for business owners who are ridiculously tenacious about making their dreams a reality. They're 100% committed to their success. They know it's going to happen. It's more a matter of when. And they're so looking to collapse the timeline. They don't want to wait anymore. They're sick of waiting, and they don't see the level of results, the level of money in their bank account. They don't see the clients that they want in their business. They're frustrated. They don't realize what's going wrong. They don't understand what pieces are missing. And they're really frustrated by that, right? And the reason they're frustrated is because they have such a huge passion for what it is that they do, and they so want to go out there and serve people massively, right? They're like, I just want to spend my time doing what I love. I don't want to spend my time doing marketing, right? And even though marketing is of course a component of your business, I understand you want to be doing what you love, right? What I love doing is I love coaching. I freaking love coaching. I love speaking like I'm doing here. I'm also doing speaking events. That I have one in London next week, Thursday. I'm speaking in front of hundreds of people. So I freaking love speaking. I love coaching. So I understand that you want to just spend your time actually working with tons of paying clients, making a massive impact, doing what you love, and you know it's going to happen for you. But it's more a matter of when. And you're ready for the support to really help you create those results. And you're sick and tired of waiting. It's that simple, right? So if that's somebody that, if that's you, if you're like literally hearing this and you're like, oh my gosh, that's absolutely me. I absolutely need the support. I need the help. I need the deep inner work. I do deep dive coaching. I don't think superficial stuff works. I am challenging in the sense that I will give you the truth. I will be absolutely the most supportive person you will ever know. People tell me like the number one thing is you have the highest energy I've ever met. You believed in me more than anyone else ever believed in me, but also you challenged me incredibly in terms of my limiting beliefs, in terms of what I thought it was possible for me, in terms of what I could create, and I went out and I created them. That's the results that I get. And if I wasn't challenging and if I didn't have this level of energy, I don't believe I could do that, right? So my one-to-one program, it has changed slightly. So for those of you who've been watching me for a while, I absolutely want to tell you again what it entails. So I have a 4-month transformational one-to-one mindset program. Okay, this is only for business owners, entrepreneurs, and it's only for women. And it's only for entrepreneurs who are incredibly tenacious about making their dreams a reality. They're 100% committed to their business, okay? And of course, being balanced, by the way. I'm big on balance. Everyone who works with me knows that. So 4-month one-to-one mindset program. What do you get in that 4-month program? Well, first of all, you get 10 deep dive 60-minute sessions over Skype, whereby we delve deep into what's going on, what's blocking you, what's holding you back, what's keeping you stuck, what's whereby you're like, I don't know what's going on. I feel like I'm doing everything, but it's still not working. I'm not creating the clients. I'm not creating the impact. I'm not creating the money that I want in my business, right? So that's what we do. We dive deep into that. We absolutely then end up with a ridiculous action plan whereby you're like, this is so excited, I can't wait. And then you go out and you take massive action. Every single one of my clients takes massive action and shows up huge as soon as they've been working with me. Why? Because it just is like that. You're gonna see all kinds of testimonials coming out end of Feb, early March from the people I've been working with for the last couple of months. That is what happens. They become huge, right? They just show up massively. And they start creating clients like straight away. So this is what we do. So we dive deep. You leave with a freaking amazing action plan. You know all of the blocks have been just literally keeping you stuck. And what we do is we do that over 10 sessions over the 4 months. Plus, to add to that, there's email support. I know that as a coach and as a business owner, email support is huge because sometimes you come across something and you're like, I'm just blocked. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to reach out to. I don't know what's going on. That's when you can email me. You can ask me any questions. By the way, yes, I do a lot of mindset work, but we absolutely do the structures and systems in terms of marketing, in terms of how to show up, in terms of how to create clients, in terms of your sales calls, in terms of all of those pieces as well, right? Just because that's something I've been doing for a long time. I've been an entrepreneur for 3 years now. I've had 2 businesses, so it's something that I know is important as well. So those strategies don't just sort of go out the window. Those are super important. We go and work on those as well. So on top of that, so the 10 sessions, the freaking email support, you also receive my online course. My online course literally takes you from not really knowing where the engagement is coming from, not really receiving that many emails from people about your services, not knowing where your next client is always going to come from, really struggling, to being able to book 3 to 5 sales calls a week, and building up engagement, having a buzz around your services, having people email you, reach out to you just because it's you. It also comprises mindset videos whereby, again, you're getting that real tune up in terms of your mindset. So that is what you get for my freaking 4-month one-to-one program. Now, I'm opening up spots because, like I said, I have quite a few people who are finishing end of February and early March. So I would absolutely love to welcome you. If this is something that you're like, this is for me and she is for me, and I know I need to be working with Olivia, and I know that I need this now, and I'm 100% committed to my business and to making my dreams a reality, then I would love for you to reach out. We can set up a 45-minute clarity call over Skype to decide whether or not you and I are the right fit. That simple, right? So that's what I'd like to do with you if that is who you are. If that's not, let me know and I can refer you to someone else as well, because I know all kinds of amazing coaches, and for me it's all about whether or not it's the right fit. It's that simple. So 45-minute clarity call, you can set that up by just emailing me on my website, which is oliviacharlet.com. Just pop me a message in there. You can find that really, really easily. Or you can reach out to me on Facebook at Olivia Charlet and just message me if you are curious about the program. So the investment for the program, it's super simple. So what you do is you pay $1,300 US for upfront in the first month. You pay $1,300 upfront in the first month. After the first month, you decide whether you're creating the results that you expected. You decide whether you want to continue working with me. That's how much I believe in my program. I know that within a month of working with me, after only 3 sessions, you'll already be creating massive results. Why do I know that? Because I've seen it with every single one of my clients. So you do a month, you pay me up front $1,300, you do a month, and you decide whether you and I are gonna continue working together. You can then leave. If it's not what you want, if it's not what you expected, you can leave. That's what's beautiful. You can absolutely leave. Or if you're freaking loving it, if you're creating massive results, if your money is just ridiculously expanded, you're creating clients all over the place and your engagement has shot up and your energy has shot up and your abundance has shot up and everything's gone up and you're like, I want more of this, then you can continue working with me for another 3 months, each time paying me $1,300 upfront. That's my program, and I've changed it up because I want it to be so that you can really get what it is that you want to get. I'm sick and tired of people feeling as if they have to do something and then they're stuck in something or trapped in something, right? There's no reason. I want you to feel like, try this out, give it a shot, see if it feels freaking amazing for you, that you're getting the results, and then you decide. So there you go. That's my one-to-one program. If you're interested, you can just email me on oliviacharlet.com or reach out to me on my Facebook page, Olivia Charlet Coaching, and we can set up a 45-minute clarity call. I don't know how many spots I'll have exactly because I'm sort of deciding that still now in terms of how many clients I really want for the next couple of months, because I have a lot of other things on with regards to my book coming out and all kinds of other things. So what I'll do is I will let you know that, but just so you know, those one-to-one spots are available, and I would love to hear from you if that's the right fit for you. Okay, cool. So do you guys have any questions on today's topic with regards to mindset work, right? So we talked about how to set up your day for success, and we also talked about how you can get incredibly uncomfortable to create even more results by getting out of your comfort zone. And I'd love to know if you guys have any questions. You're more than welcome to pop them up on the right-hand side of the screen. And if you have to process things or if you want to give these a shot and see, and then you probably have questions later, that's okay as well. You can absolutely ask me on my Facebook group, which is Dare to Dream with Olivia Charlet. So I'll give you guys a couple of minutes just to see if there are any questions that pop up. By the way, as well, for those of you who are watching this on replay, because I think we got something like 200 views for my last webinar on replay. If you have any questions and you're watching the replay, always feel free to reach out to me on my Facebook group, Dare to Dream with Olivia Charlet. And I'm always happy to challenge you, to support you, to be there for you on that group. That's the best place to reach me. So there you go. So do we have any questions at all? I know that we've got a couple of people who are on. I know that this has been a pretty long webinar, so it's almost been an hour. So if you're like, okay, this is awesome, I've loved the value, I've been super excited about hearing all of this, but now you want to kind of process it and think about it and ask me any questions, you're welcome to do that, right? And we can do that in my Facebook group. Anything at all, guys. Anything that's showed up or any questions that you might have. I know that last time we had quite a few questions with regards to like more detailed and more specific on how to do things. So again, if that's something that you are curious about or want to know about, you're more than welcome to reach out. All right, well, what we'll do is, I know that there's been a lot of content, there's been a lot of information coming out at you guys. So what I will do is I will set this up as a replay on my YouTube channel on Olivia Charlet. And then that way you can rewatch this at any time if you want to look at how to set up your day for success or how to get more into discomfort to create bigger results for yourself. And again, if you have any questions, you just reach out on my Facebook group. Great. It was lovely having you guys all here. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you guys about the inner work. There's so much more to it than just this. And there's so much more that I can't wait to share with you guys. Our next webinar is going to be next week, Wednesday at the same time. I will absolutely be reminding you via email because I know you've got a lot going on within your business and I know how easy it is to get really overwhelmed with things. So I will absolutely remind you and let you know what's going on. So our next webinar is next Wednesday at the same time, and it'll be also with regards to doing the inner work, and I will tell you exactly what it is that we'll be going over. But yes, as you guys remember, it'll be a little bit more about money. So I can't wait to talk about that. All right, I will speak to you guys super soon. Any questions, just reach out. Lovely hanging out with you guys. Have a beautiful rest of your week, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Bye.